All right, guys, just going to talk about a couple trade ideas from today. ROSG. Now, normally I don't touch this thing. You know, when ROSG was doing this, a lot of people, or when it started to fall, a lot of people were saying, what about ROSG? And I was watching it, and then the spreads were crazy, and I just never touched it. Now, a lot of people probably aggravated with me in chat because it just didn't feel safe. And then today, it gaps out of this base. Look at the massive volume here. So let me show you early on. It had using 5-minute candles here. Here's what it looked like after about the first 20 minutes. When it started to come back up, I said, you know, this ROSG, I was calling it ROSG, ROSG, if it breaks the high of the day, might just get going. And it sure did. Okay, and I did not take this trade. I'll show you where I took it, which is kind of a joke when you consider my first idea was right here, which was the entry of the day, right? Then it was flagging, and I said, hey, you got a nice flag in ROSG. Over this flag, it might go some more. And it did again. Okay, look at that. Huge move, huge, percentage-wise huge move. And then I didn't take it until, this is still a pretty good trade, and I'm proud of it, but I'll just show you how at this point, now it's up near 640, and then it starts to chop, okay? So at this point, I go back and look at the daily, and I don't remember how many shares, already probably 7 or 8 million shares, so you could tell it was going to have monster volume, and it was holding up pretty well. And with this crazy move back here, I started to become a believer that this might give a pretty nice trade still, okay? So back to 5-minute candles, I after looking at the daily, I became interested. Okay, so oftentimes when you have a really strong stock, and go back and look at some charts using 5-minute candles on stocks that were really strong that day, oftentimes you'll get one touch of this 20. This is the 5-minute candle 20-period moving average, okay? So when it touched it there, I grabbed a small position, as I said in chat. Okay, didn't worry about a stop because it was just a nibble. And then when it came down to the whole number, I grabbed more. Okay, so now I had an average of whatever it was, 608 maybe. And when you do that, when you're buying something on the way down because of moving averages or whole number support, you still have to have a stop in place. So this isn't the proverbial catching a falling knife. It was just a nibble and an add. And then I always have a stop in place. So I oftentimes use an arbitrary 20-cent stop. Now, it's going to matter how many shares you have, and you have to know when you build your position where your ultimate stop, how much you're going to let it go. So I probably would have given this 15 or 20 cents. Okay, if it loses the $6 area significantly and gets down around 580, I'm probably back out. So I used to always think you had to have candlesticks turning up in your favor as you take it. I'm actually becoming a little more open-minded to nibbling at the, I was thinking I might have the one touch of the 520 here, or the 5-minute candle 20-period moving average, and then an add at the whole number. This is a completely different mindset from how I usually trade, but I'm seeing it work a lot. Anyway, so then I had a nice average, and then it ends up moving up significantly from there. I actually sold most right here as it broke because it was coming back up into a range. Could have ended up with a huge trade, but anyway, the most important thing about this video to me is the lesson here of the very strong stock, and the pullback to that 20-period moving average oftentimes can be a buy. Going forward, watching our videos, you'll see a lot of places where I'll start to nibble there and see if I can't build a position on different stocks that are really strong. And on a different note, on a sell-off today. NRG. A little bit of a different kind of a trade, but NRG looked like this, which met our, what we call a PFPD. It met our PFPD parameters, which means potential final push down. Loosely connect the tops of the candles. You get a little fade here, and then another big push down on bigger volume. This is the look of a final push down for the day. I call it potential final push down because we don't know. You can't call this the final push down. That makes it sound like you know it is. Okay, so anyway, I looked at this, then I went to the daily chart. I'm sorry, the 60-minute chart, and it had resistance back here in early August at 21, then a long base right at 21, then the little breakout. So when it was coming back down to 21 with that PFPD, or potential final push down look to it, became very interesting to me, and I'll just show you the whole day. Now that literally was, this is what it looked like when I showed it to you. That literally was the low of the day right there, that touch of 21. Now, it wasn't huge. It went up to, over 21.30, but still, nice little profit there, and did have some members make money. Now, I must tell you, I did not take this trade. I showed it exactly where it was, and along the same lines of ROSG, this would have been a great grab right at that area with an arbitrary 20-cent stop. And I did not take it, okay? By the time I had this on the projector, and by the time I started showing everybody support and everything and how I thought everything was lining up here, it had already popped 10 cents. But to me, I don't care so much about the missed trade or, hey, look what I did. It's more important just to show you a good lesson here as far as a PFPD or potential final push down look, the shape, and support on the 60-minute chart. Everything lined up to give you a pretty nice grab at 21 and a quick 20 to 30 cent move. Even though I didn't get it, to me it seems like a pretty good trading lesson there. That's about it from today anyway. There wasn't a whole lot going on. So I'm trying to put out videos at least talking about some of the things we look for. And I'll give you one more example. This was yesterday, Pulte Homes, PHM. But super strong. The home builders were super strong. Toll Brothers beat. And then look what happens. Remember that red line I just showed you, that 5-minute candle, 20-period moving average? Strong stock. And boom, there's your touch of the 20. And look at that quick reversal all the way back through the high of the day. So just another example. And start looking at charts. Now, not just any chart, but the stuff that's really strong. That is certainly an area when you get that touch of that 20-period moving average on 5s on a really strong stock. Sometimes you just get one shot that day. So, dedicate a monitor. And that's what I do. I've got one monitor off to my right here with 9 charts on it using 5-minute candles. And on the strong stocks, you can visually just kind of glance at the monitor. You got a bunch of strong stocks. You can see one hitting the, coming down to the 520. And if nothing else, it serves to, hey, put that stock on your radar. See if you can't get a trade out of it. All right, I'm not going to babble any further. We'll talk to you guys later.